Hi, Alicia. Hi, Mary, Leah Jane, Laura Lynn, Mary Tackett. I was hoping you guys would still be up and come listen. I wasn't sure if I was going to do it. I don't know. I was thinking I'll just go get in bed. And then I thought, no, I'm going to read for a little bit. Hi, Lark. I wish Carolyn was here, but I know she's in bed now. Oh, wait. No, she's not. Let me message her. Sorry, guys. I missed her. Where's Lisa H? Oh, there she is. Yeah, I just wanted to talk to Carolyn. So I didn't talk to her yesterday. Not really today either. Well, yeah, not today, so. But I thought she was in bed. And then she just answered like 10 minutes ago, why? I said, are you in bed? Are you sleeping? Why? I wanted to show her too that here on StreamYards, I have little signs that I made when she was sick with COVID. Little banners. I wanted to show her. I'll show you guys. See if you remember these. Remember? And then this one. And then this one. And then this one. Telling all of her details. And then this one. I think that was the last one. Airport? What do you mean? Okay, do you guys want to hear spooky stories again tonight? Or would you want to have a mixture of like good old days and reminisce stories and then a couple of the spooky ones? One is for good old days. Two is for spooky. Okay, well, we got spooky. Spooky. We have 9 people, 7 more votes. Spooky, okay. Oh, wait, you're still, okay, that was the same one. Spooky, too spooky. Spooky. We're down to 7. Anyone that might be watching this on a replay, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you feel relaxed and that you fall asleep and that when you wake up, you feel wonderful and that you'll have a beautiful day. And spooky for Nana Patty. Okay, everybody wants spooky. Okay, hey, Moo. Oh, good. Yes, very good, Moo. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, well, I guess I'll be putting these guys back. They don't want to hear from you guys. Just showing them they don't want to hear your stories. They want the spooky. And no, we're going to give them what they want. Okay, let me find a couple of good ones. Okay, guys? I should have looked before I got on. But let's see. Okay. Okay, we read that dumb Paul Bunyan, but some of you liked it. Carolyn, Mommy Ramblings. I miss you. Kevin's not here either. Okay, just give me a chance, guys, please. Okay, a lot of these right now seem like they're about shipwrecks and stuff. So, I'm going to keep going. Looks like this one's hunting. Yeah. About a Yeti. And I'm not in the mood for that either. Coffin of snakes. The coffin of snakes. Just talk amongst yourself. I'll find a couple of good ones. I know I will. I know I will. Okay, that's Michigan. I think we're going to go back to Florida since we got Nana Pat. I'm not Nana Patty. We got Moo in here. Maybe we'll go back to Florida. Alicia. Oh, we read a lot out of this too. I have to get some more books. Yeah, I'm going to have to get more. Hi, Cold Case. Sorry I haven't found anything yet. I'm looking. Gotta find some good ones. Well, I guess we're gonna have to go to California. I would like that. I'd like to read some ones about Peru, Alicia. I really would. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Sorry for the delay. Um, okay, I don't think I read this one. It's kind of short, but it's called Betrayed. It's out of Hollywood, California. It was a dark and stormy night, which, as everyone knows, is the very best time for telling ghost stories. Our three teenage grandchildren were visiting for their spring break, and they had spent the day on a bus tour of Hollywood. Now we all curled up in the living room around the fireplace with the lights turned out and listened to thunder rumbling outside. Tell us a ghost story, Grandpop, my grandson Bill said casually. There must be ghosts in Hollywood. Dozens, I said, taking out my pipe. Oh, I hope we didn't read this one. Oh, we did. We did. We did. You guys remember it, don't you? Remember it? Maybe not. I might, because there's a lot of them are so similar. Maybe not. We'll just go with it. If it's the same, let me know, okay? Dozens, I said, taking out my pipe. Abby, my wife of 45 years, gave me a stern look She hated it when I smoked in the house, but said nothing. I lit up and puffed for a bit, staring into the flames, letting the pounding rain and flash of lightning and the crash of thunder set the mood. When the grandkids began stirring restlessly, I took the stem of the pipe out of my mouth and looked at them thoughtfully. The oldest, Claire, was 19 and looked skeptical, which was appropriate. At the, at the age of 19, I was skeptical about the whole world and wouldn't have believed in ghosts if one had walked right through my bedroom wall. Becky was 17 and had a rather nervous disposition. She looked terrified already, and I hadn't started talking yet. But she was eager too, and I knew she would feel horribly cheated if I refused to tell them a ghost story. Billy was 15 and absolutely bloodthirsty. Some of the urban legends I'd heard him swapping with his friends the last time we visited their home would make my ghost story seem tame. The final character in the scenario, my wife, Abby, sat rocking in her glider, knitting a scarf. If this makes her sound delightfully old fat, oh, we did read this. You guys remember this now? I'm not gonna. I remember now. I'm changing it. I don't want to be lame and read the same thing. I think it is time I get some new books. I can't believe went through so many of these already. Um, Sorry, guys. I read this one too. Oh, this is lame. Sorry. I don't think I read this one. Hi, Tina Bina. Sorry, I'm trying to find some stories here. Um, Haunted House. Fort Bragg, California. I was working for a Fort Bragg lumber company back in those days. I was the general caretaker for a large number of company properties, both timber and ranch. It was a lonely job. I spent most days on horseback, riding various circuits that took me into the foothills to check on fences, make sure gates were kept closed, and see that the cattle on the ranches had access to watering holes. Excuse me. My closest friends were my horse, Buck, and a large guard dog, inappropriately named Happy. Happy didn't like me much, which was high praise indeed, considering that he alternated between despising and loathing the rest of the world. He would occasionally take a swipe at my hand and growl if I patted him too often on the head. But he yes, Alicia. But he was company of a sort. No one ever bothered me when Happy was around. I was courting a very nice young lady in Fort Bragg during my free time. She was a sweet girl. Happy had actually wagged his tail at her once, and let her pat him on the head. A miracle. Lydia and I would go walking on Sunday afternoons after church, and her folks had invited me to dinner a few times. I was hankering to get me a wife and raise me a family. But Lydia was not the kind of girl to rush into that sort of thing, so my courtship was going more slowly than I would have liked. Still, I thought she would probably say yes when I proposed next week. I was happily musing on my future with Lydia that Monday morning as Buck, Happy, and I set out. I was scheduled to ride the longest of my monthly circuits. I think I've read this. I think I did. I did. I did. I'm sorry. I did. Maybe this one I didn't. Uh, Lorona? I think it's Lorona. How do you pronounce it? What is this, guys? Happy was the dog. Buck was the horse. How do you pronounce that? Wait. StreamYards is so hard to get the. I don't understand it. It's all backwards. The title right there. I can't make that out. Is that an L? Is that an S? I don't know. I don't know what that word is. Can anybody tell? That's why I can't understand what the first letter is. Well, we're just going to say Lorona then, okay? Lorona. The feeling crept on him slowly. At first, he did not even realize that he was shying away from shadows, hurrying to get home before dark. Yeah, that's what I thought, an L, like two L's. Okay, that's what we're going with Lorona. Glancing over his shoulder as if he expected to see someone following him. When he did notice these things, he had no explanation for them. He was a retired widower. The days and nights loomed endlessly since he had grown too old to weave shawls, and they were lonely too, now that his wife, who now that his wife was no longer there to share them. But his health was good. He had many friends, and his children. Oh, really, Alicia? But his health was very good. He had many friends, and his children all lived close to him. So, why was this feeling of impending doom? He tried to laugh off the foreboding. After all, he had always had good luck. He was the one who had found money on the street, the one who had won free drinks at the local festivals, the one who always landed on his feet. Things had gone well for him all of his life. Okay, I'm going to pin that then. Oh, and I need to stop that banner thing. Hi, Deborah. Things had gone well for him all his life. But he had noticed lately that his luck had changed. He began losing things, his glasses, his wallet, the keys to his house. He tripped over his own feet and fell up the stairs. He caught the influenza before anyone else. Deborah, are you a mod here? I can't tell on StreamYards. If not, I can make you one on YouTube, and then it'll show over to here. That is if you want to. He tripped over his own feet and fell up the stairs. He caught the influenza before anyone else. When he tried to hang a picture on his wall, the small mirror fell beside it. The small mirror beside it fell. And oh, really, Lisa H? Okay, Lisa saw that movie. Okay, Deborah. Curse of, I've never even heard of that. Good morning, Muppets. Okay, Muppets, I love you. You're going to do good, okay? It's going to be hard, but you're going to make it through. You'll get through it today. Okay? No, you're not, Alicia. I'll make you one too. Calm down. Muppets, have a good day, okay? You can do it. You're going to power through it. Your first day back. We're all rooting for you, right, guys? This is Muppet's first day back from work. To work, I mean, since her husband passed. So it's going to be a hard day for her. Can we all give hearts to Muppets? We're going to think about you all day, Muppets. Remember, we're right there with you, helping you get through. "7 years bad luck," he mused as he swept up the mess and threw away the shards of glass. Hi, Robin. Oh, you didn't disrupt anything. We always get disrupted. We interrupt all the time, usually to laugh about something silly. Aw, Jody. Hello, thank you for coming. This is so cozy tonight. Now I'm getting sleepy. To make things worse, he started feeling as if something was dogging his steps. Every time he went out of his house, his neck prickled as if it sensed that someone was watching him. He kept turning around as he walked to see if anyone was following him, but no one was there. His eldest son teased him gently about his strange way of talking, saying that if he were not careful, people would think him senile. Right, Elizabeth. This is like the first story I've found so far that I'm going to read all the way through. And this has been half an hour. Gosh, that's horrible, isn't it? It's terrible. I'm sorry, everyone watching in replay. Just fast forward to about minute 30, about minute 30. I mean, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. Something is coming for me, he told his old friend Lupe as they sat one evening playing checkers on his porch. Something bad. Don't be crazy, Lupe replied. You're just having some bad luck. Come over to my house on Sunday night. We're having company over. You can relax, have a drink, and enjoy yourself. It'll take your mind off your troubles. Oh, that won't make any sense. Here I just told the person watching in a replay to come to 30 minutes or whatever. How are they going to know until they actually get here to 30 minutes? That does not make sense. He agreed reluctantly. Usually he liked visiting Lupe and his wife, but for some reason, the thought of walking across town after dark made him nervous. His sleep was restless that night, broken by a soft wailing cry from outside his house that kept jerking him back to consciousness. It sounded like the cry of a baby, or perhaps a tomcat. Right, Robin, right. But when he got up to investigate, there was nothing there. He was heavy eyed and irritable the next morning from lack of sleep. He grumbled to himself as he went to buy his weekly groceries. He had almost finished his shopping when he overheard a woman talking about the Llorona. He froze, his hand clutching an orange, and strained to hear what the woman was saying. There was a car accident last night, the woman told the shopkeeper. Several local boys were killed. I heard that the night before the accident, two of the boys saw the Llorona walking among the shadows, weeping for her lost children. Right, I know, right, Lisa? And the next day, their car hit a palm tree right where they saw the Llorona. The shopkeeper nodded her head. Bad things always happen in the place where the Llorona appears. He stood in silence, clutching the orange, remembering the wailing sound that kept waking him in the night. Had it been the Llorona, the wailing woman? He had often heard the tale as a boy. The Llorona was a poor young girl who loved a rich nobleman, and together they had 3 children. The girl wished to marry the nobleman, but he refused her. He told her, oh, we did read this one, but we're going to finish it. He told her that he might have considered marrying her had she not borne the 3 out of wedlock children, which he considered a disgrace. The girl was determined to have the nobleman for her own, so she drowned her children to prove her love to him. But still, he would not have her and married another. Mad with grief, the girl walked along the river, weeping and calling for her children, but they were gone, so she drowned herself. For her crime, Her spirit was condemned to wander the waterways, weeping and searching for her children until the end of time. It was said that whenever the wailing woman appeared, someone would die. I know. I'm sorry, anyone watching and replay, if you've heard this story. I'm going to get some more new books. He shuddered at the thought and hastily tucked the orange into his basket. After making his purchases, he hurried home. He put his groceries away and then spent some time searching his yard for signs of a stray cat or something that would explain the wailing noise that had disturbed him the night before. He found nothing. Let's see. He lay awake for a long while that night, straining to hear a wailing sound, but the only noise was the rustle of the wind in the palms outside his house. He drifted to sleep at last and awoke with a pounding heart early on Sunday morning. Had he heard a cry? The sound came again, and he laughed out. He laughed aloud. It was the clink of the milk bottles being delivered next door. He turned over and slept. Sunday evening found him huddled in a warm armchair, listening to Lupe Flores chatter with his guest. Many of them knew the boys had been killed in the car accident, and the talk that night was of the Llorona. Someone pulled out a guitar and sang a song about the wailing woman that left many in tears. Is it the Llorona, Alicia? Right, Elizabeth. I could probably read all these and nobody would remember most of them. It wasn't until the last guest had disappeared through the front door that he stirred from his chair. He shook the hands of Lupe and his wife and walked out into the dark night, the song about the Llorona echoing in his mind. He felt oddly at peace for the first time in weeks. No feeling of foreboding, no shying away from dark shadows. He strolled along the street, thumping his cane against the pavement and humming the Llorona song. It was nearly midnight. The street was dark, but the sky was clear and the moon shimmered down upon the wrecked stone chimney of a small house that had burnt down a few weeks before. All that remained was the chimney and the blackened skeleton of the frame. Among the dark shadows of the ruined windows, a white mist began to gather. It moved out into the yard and became the figure of a lovely young girl dressed all in white. Long dark hair hung loose down her back. He stared at the girl, his heart thumping against his ribs. She moved gracefully as if she were dancing and began keeping pace with him along the road. He looked into her face, but she turned away from his gaze and began to weep. He suddenly felt very cold, and his hand trembled on top of the cane. The Llorona gave a moan of agony, and at the sound, a terrible pain shot through his left arm. Steel bands seemed to clamp around his chest. The cane slipped from his hand, and he crumpled into a heap on the ground. My Llorona. Llorona, that is why. Oh, cry. Oh, my Llorona. Llorona. A long while later, he heard voices above him. They sounded as if they were coming from far away. He opened his eyes for a moment and saw Lupe and his wife bending over him. Llorona, he said to his friend. I saw the Llorona. Hush, Lupe answered. We have called for an ambulance. Behind Lupe's head, he saw a shimmering figure in white moving towards him. At first, he thought it was the Llorona. Then, as the woman bent over him, he recognized the beautiful face of his wife. He smiled and took hold of her outstretched hand. She lifted him up, and his spirit parted easily from his pain-racked body. Together, they walked away, leaving Lupe and his wife to keep watch over his body until the ambulance came. From somewhere in the shadows, the Llorona gave a soft wail, but they were too involved with each other to pay attention. Relaxing and education. Let's see. Yeah, we read this one. Yep. Yes, we read that. Yep, milk bottles. Yes, the baby in the cemetery. Yes. Okay. Um, let's check out New Jersey then, I guess. Clutches my pearls. Oh boy. Sorry, guys. This ain't working out tonight. It's not working out. How long's it been? 42 minutes. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth T. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. That's very nice. Book donation fund. Let's see. Let me look up what other books I can order right now, okay? So we can get them on the way here. Get them mailed and get them here. Oh, Lisa. Those would be too scary. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Yeah, Lisa, those would be too scary. You guys don't want them. Let's see. Can you guys think of any other scary short stories that I could order? Name of any books or anything? Don't want to get any for kids. There's some scary stories to tell in the dark. By Alvin Schwartz. Scary stories to tell in the dark. You guys ever heard of any of those? It's from 1981. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I know that's not true, but thank you. Robin. Just hang out and visit, guys. Visit with each other. Let's see what this one is. Scary stories to tell in the dark. Let's see what the sample is. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark contains some of the most alarming tales of horror, dark revenge, and supernatural events of all time. Walking corpses, dancing bones, knife wielding madmen, and narrow escapes from death. They're all here in this chilling collection of ghost stories. Make sure you read these books with the lights on. Okay. Looks like there's quite a few of them out there, actually. So, yeah, with the lights on. I'm sorry, this is really boring. Trying to make it to 1 hour. I don't know why, to me, that seems like a. And I'm sorry, anybody in the replay. This isn't what you were looking for, and I understand. I would be upset too if I came to listen to a story and the lady only read one. I would be very upset. Very, 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 very upset. So, you know what? I'm going to try to find one to read, one more that we have never heard of. We are going to read Father and Son from Princeton, New Jersey. And I don't think we read this one before. I paged through a science book left on the instructor's desk, marveling at all the wonderful technologies that had been invented since my unfortunate demise at the age of 42. Ooh, this one sounds good already. In the year of our Lord, 1747. This personal tragedy had occurred shortly after I, Aaron Burr, the second president of the College of New Jersey, had moved the institution to Princeton. Horses, please. Well, this guy's already, he's a dead guy and he's writing a story, Alicia. Anyone peering inside the classroom at the moment would have been startled by the sight of the pages of the book turning by themselves, since I had not materialized to do my reading, but I had been very careful to make sure I was alone before commencing my studies. See, we got a bona fide ghost here. And see, look, people are coming in. Ghost story. Come on, guys. Yes, come in. A bona fide ghost telling a story. I thought the steam engine had been a marvelous invention, but clever Americans had followed it up with the telegraph, the telegram, the telephone, the automobile, the airplane, and computers. There is something called the internet that seems to fascinate people of all ages, keeping them glued to their screens and keyboards long into the night. Now, that's not true. Don't keep us long into the night. It's something called the internet, right? Apparently, they use it to communicate information to one another. My reading was interrupted. Hi, Tracy. The year you were born, huh, Deb? My reading was interrupted by the sound of squealing coming through the open window. I sighed and marked my place in the book. I was very familiar with that sound. Charlie, you are such a chauvinist, a voice shouted from the walkway outside. I strolled to the window and observed a group of female students confronting a blushing boy of about 19 years. I didn't do anything, he protested. Right, snapped a willowy brunette. How would you like it if we pinched you? Thank you, Tracy, for asking everybody to hit the like. Thank you. Charlie very rightly did not answer the question. He merely continued to protest his innocence. Standing on the lawn not far away, the phantom of my son, oh, my nose is itching now. The phantom of my son, Aaron Burr II, was chuckling to himself and smirking at the pretty girls. I sighed. I had not known Aaron in life, having died when he was an infant, but I had gotten to know him too well in the afterlife, especially since he had taken to haunting my university. And what a son he was. He had been the second vice president of the United States, the governor of New York, and a senator. But he was also an alleged traitor, a womanizer, and the killer of Alexander Hamilton. In my opinion, his bad parts far outweighed the good. We were buried side by side in a Princeton cemetery, and since that day, his ghost had wandered about the place, causing me grief. I materialized beside my son. That was not well done, I remarked, gesturing to the blushing Charlie, who was creeping away with his ears still ringing from the brunette's lecture. On the contrary, it was very well done indeed, my son said with a wicked smile. I got all the fun, and Charlie got all the blame. What more could I ask for? I'm so delighted that the university finally went co-ed. It makes the afterlife so much more interesting, don't you think? Someday you'll get your comeuppance, I retorted. These Princeton ladies are smart. None of these girls would ever have fallen for an inveterate womanizer like you. Go behave yourself. Sorry. Let me blow my nose really quick here. Just wipe it, whatever. It just feels like something's there. I don't know if there is, but hold on, I'm right here. I hope it's okay. I hope. Oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome, Tracy. Go behave yourself. I'll go, but I won't promise the good behavior, my son replied. He vanished, and I returned to the classroom. Hi, Jen. Into my studies, but I could not stop thinking about my son. He had inherited money from my estate and graduated from the college in New Jersey at the tender age of 16. Aaron was a bright lad and ambitious. He served well in the American Revolution, starting out under the command of Benedict Arnold, who betrayed the Republic, and later serving with Washington, with whom he did not get along. Aaron started his political career as a delegate to the New York Congress, and in 1782, he was admitted to the state bar. He was a very successful lawyer and made a good deal of money. Unfortunately, he enjoyed the trappings of his wealth, handsome carriages, well-appointed residences, elegant clothing, lavish entertaining, and often lived beyond his means. Hi, Josie West. I love your name. Oh, Lisa Nia. Let's see, wait, what? Driving to Florida to mom's and just pulled over to rest. Oh, good, good, good. Is she doing any better? I'm glad you turned me on here. Oh, thank you, Tracy. No. Oh, I know you always ask. I appreciate that because I do enjoy reading, and I'm glad some people like to hear it. I know you can't chat. Please just rest. Okay. Oh, your sister passed. Oh, I'm so sorry. I knew by your message you said that was going to happen. I'm so sorry. Prayers, Lisa, for your family. Oh, Taco, thank you. You didn't have to do that, but I do appreciate it very much. Oh, your birthday, Josie? You have a happy, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Josie. Happy birthday to you. I hope you have a good day, Josie. We're reading about Aaron Burr, Lisa Nia, who was a ghost, and his son, who was a ghost. I don't have a PayPal up here. That was great, though. Thank you, Taka. Aaron started his political career as a delegate to the New York Congress, and in 1782, he was admitted to the state bar. He was a very successful lawyer and made a good deal of money. Unfortunately, he enjoyed the trappings of his wealth: handsome carriages, well appointed residences, elegant clothing, lavish entertaining, and often lived beyond his means. He spent much of his life heavily in debt. Oh, wow. Okay, Lisa. Aaron became a political rival of another lawyer, a man called Alexander Hamilton, who was a friend of George Washington. Hamilton was one of the writers of the Federalist Essays, which urged the ratification of the Constitution, and he later served as Washington's Secretary of the Treasury. Hamilton's father in law, Philip Schuyler, lost his New York Senate seat to Aaron, who had gained the support of the Clinton and Livingston families, both enemies of Schuyler. Thus began a hostility between Hamilton and Aaron that eventually would end in tragedy. I wonder if that was President Clinton's relatives, ancestors. My son lost the 1800 presidential election to Thomas Jefferson by a whisker, largely due to the machinations of Hamilton, and so Aaron became Vice President of the United States. When his term was almost over, he ran for governor of New York. Hamilton publicly campaigned against him, and his opposition tactics prevented my son from winning the seat he desired. Furious over remarks that Hamilton allegedly made during the campaign, Aaron demanded a duel. Alexander reluctantly agreed. When the day came, they met at a dueling ground in Weehawken, New Jersey. Hamilton missed, but my son shot straight and true, fatally wounding his political rival. Not long after the duel, Aaron became involved in a plot to create a new republic from territory west of the Appalachian Mountains, with the capital at New Orleans. He was arrested and tried for treason in 1807, but was acquitted due to lack of evidence. Following this escapade, Aaron went abroad in 1808. He returned to New York City in 1812 and resumed the practice of law, spending the rest of his days in pursuit of women and pleasure. My only son died in Port Richmond, Staten Island, New York, on September 14th, 1836, and was interred beside me in the Princeton Cemetery. I heard another squeal, and a woman's voice said, "Tommy, not in public." I sighed. Aaron was back, this time lurking near Nassau Hall. He had a strange look on his face, one of tenderness combined with desire. I drifted over to see what he was up to. Standing nearby was a small group of students. Aaron's eyes were fixed on a young girl who was talking animately among them. "That one won't easily succumb to your wiles," I told him. "She looks like a woman of spirit and fire." "She reminds me of my wife," Aaron said. There was a faraway note in his voice that I seldom heard. Theodosia Prevost was Aaron's beloved first wife. She was the widow of a British officer and the mother of 5 children when Aaron met her. According to reports, Theodosia was a rather plain woman who possessed a highly educated, razor-sharp mind that transfixed Aaron, who previously had been well known for his pursuit of beautiful ladies. Stunned and very much in love, Aaron married the widow in 1782, and Theodosia gave birth to 4 more children, only one of whom survived. Wow, really? Good morning, A.L. Skinner, 1981. Little Theodosia was the light of Aaron's life after her mother and namesake died in 1794. I tried to pursue the matter, but Aaron was so taken with the girl that he paid me no heed. Finally, I left him to his solitary revelry and went on my way. I watched with amusement as Aaron ceased his shenanigans among the college girls and took to following his dead wife's look-alike around campus. I caught a glimpse then of the very great love Aaron still held for his wife, and in that moment I was proud of my son. But as I tried to point out to him, this girl was not Theodosia. If he persisted in following her about, sooner or later the spirited lass would take offense. He did not listen. 2 weeks after he first saw the girl, Aaron found her studying alone in a classroom, her books scattered all over the desk. She was standing at the blackboard, studying a mathematical equation, when he materialized. Aaron walked up to her, embraced her from behind, and whispered in her ear, "Come to me, my proud beauty." The girl stiffened and glanced down at the semi-transparent arms embracing her. Then she lashed out with her elbow, catching Aaron in the solar plexus. He gasped and released his grip. The girl whirled around to face him. "Just who do you think you are?" she cried, slapping him first on one cheek and then the other. Aaron had forgotten to dematerialize, so the slaps whipped his head back and forth sharply. The girl stalked to the door, threw it open, and then turned to confront the startled ghost. "I am not that kind of girl," she told him firmly, and walked out of the room, leaving a stunned Aaron alone with her books. I materialized at the back of the room, laughing so hard that I couldn't speak. I just pointed repeatedly at my son, then at the door where the student had departed, and then back at Aaron. He glared at me, rubbing his cheek, but finally, he laughed too. "She definitely resembles Theodosia," he said, "in more ways than one." "You'd better leave her alone from now on," I replied when I could draw enough breath. "I suppose you're right," Aaron conceded ruefully. "And if I were you, I'd get out of here before she returns for her books," I added for good measure. Aaron looked alarmed at the thought. He vanished at once, and that was the last I saw of him on that day. The next morning, I heard some squealing along the path where Aaron always lurks, and I smiled to myself. It seemed that he had given up his obsession and was back to his old tricks. Just then, Aaron materialized in the room beside me and flopped down dramatically in a chair. He looked pale. "What's wrong?" I asked. "I almost ran into her," he exclaimed. "She was coming down the hallway while I was admiring the girls outside. When she heard them squealing, a purposeful look came over her face and she raised her notebook. She looked right over to where I was standing and started walking toward me. I wasn't even visible." He mopped his forehead. "I think I'm going to have to lay low for a while, perhaps until she graduates." "That might be a very good idea," I said, hiding a grin. Rising to his feet, my son made a formal bow and then disappeared. When he was gone, I laughed out loud. Then I went back to my studies, happy that I would be left in peace at my beloved university, at least for the moment. And that will be it. 6:08. Thank you guys so much for coming. And thank you for the super chats. And I really appreciate everybody being here and listening to this lady. This old lady that you guys think I am. And I ain't, but hi, New England. You were here. Thank you. Okay. Love y'all. Good night, y'all. See ya. See ya at Carolyn's tomorrow. Bye-bye.